This exact thing is going to make me £1 million, if not a load more. I've literally never given this amount of info away for free. But today I'm going to show you the funnel or the whole journey that we're going to use to get consistent clients throughout the next year, and again, probably beyond that. And this is my hybrid content system. We've made nearly $1 million so far off this, but not quite. The same system that's seen us hit 100K in a month. The same system that's helped Katie close 15K clients. The same system that's helped Deirdre close 36K clients. Becky hit 18K months. Stephen hit 18K months. Garrett hit 15K months. And Manuel hit 11K days. But now I've added in even more. And lots of people who do what I do will only teach you the high level shit. They won't reveal it all. They'll leave things out conveniently so you pay them. But I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to show you how we're going to take people from not knowing who we are at all to ideal clients with outstanding results. Results that we can then use in our marketing to keep feeding the machine. We don't send cold DMs or pitch slap anyone. All of this is achievable without any of that nonsense. So you'll probably want to take notes because we're going to go in deep. So here's the high level overview, okay? It's broken down into 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to zoom in and zoom out. It looks complex, but don't worry. We're going to walk through each bit step by step. And I'm going to talk about ads and also organic content across a number of channels. And it might seem a bit much, but you can handle it. However, you might not feel equipped to run ads. You might not feel like you've got the resource or the energy to run content across multiple channels, but don't worry. There's still going to be loads that you can take away from this training. So stage 1 is the attention stage, okay? How can we get people to know who the hell we are? And this, if nothing else, is probably the most important. Step 2 is the trust building stage, okay? Once people know how we are, how do we get them to like us and to trust us? After that, we look at the sales stage or the conversion stage, okay? How do we take people who have a level of trust and a level of interest in what we do and convert them into paying clients? And then stage 4 is the delivery stage, all right? And that is where we create a repeatable, smooth, repeatable process that gets client results without us having to reinvent the wheel every single time. So zooming out, and that's one of my favorite phrases. If you work with me, you will hear me say that a lot. Zooming out and looking at this from a 30,000 foot view. What does it look like? Well, again, 4 stages, but I'm just going to explain each of them for you, okay? For about 2 years, I've been running the CTC method, so CTC. That kind of aligns with our flagship program, which is content to clients, obviously. But that's the top 3 stages. But without realizing it, we'd also created an amazing product, okay? It was engineered, it was on purpose, but kind of didn't realize. So we're also going to touch on that bit too, which is the delivery stage, okay? So we've already gone into a bit of detail here, but the first stage, the capture stage, is all about getting this attention, all right? How do we get new people who don't know who we are and turn them into followers, okay? Followers from our target market, very, very important. Once we got them, how do we build trust with them? How do we use and position strategic content that nurtures that relationship, that keeps us front of mind and makes us look like an expert inside the market, okay? That's the second stage. The third stage is how do we take the people that have come all the way through the capture and the trust stage and turn them into either leads or clients? How do we get them onto our calendar for calls, and how do we convert them? Then finally, the 4th stage, systemized delivery, systemized fulfillment, yeah? A machine almost that creates repeatable, predictable results for your clients, so you can take the focus off delivery as much and put it more into the attention and the trust stages. Okay, so here we are. Stage 1, capture. How do we capture that attention? Awful spelling. We need to know before we do anything else who we're selling to, what problem it solves, and how we actually solve it as well. Then we need to hit the market with a very consistent message, all right? Really consistent. And you can see an example of ours here, all right? Coaches and creators, which is the audience. Build and sell a 4-figure service in weeks, which is the outcome. And then underneath that, we've got a without, so a frustration or a pain point. And you can't see it, but it says without wasting money on ads. So this is a really clear outcome for a very specific audience who have a specific problem. And remember, we don't need to get complex here. Simple scales, fancy fails. Wonderful advice that I received from a mentor a while ago. So once we have this, we need to actually capture people's attention, and we can do that in a few ways. We just want eyeballs. And this is the problem that most online business owners have. They're great at what they do, but they just can't generate attention. And so to simplify, I've broken this down into 3 categories, all right? 3 simple categories. Ads, connection requests if you're on LinkedIn, or follows if you're on Instagram, and then of course, collabs, as it says. All of these 3 things build audience. All of these 3 things grab attention. And what does the right attention look like? Well, it looks like targeted followers, people who are coming in right at the top of this funnel, okay? We're at this stage here, the capture stage. And you don't have to do ads. I'm not saying you have to do any of this, but I'm just showing you ads as an example, all right? None of our clients inside C2C have used ads, and some of them are in excess of 20K a month. But anyway, let's talk about ads first, and a specific type of ad, all right? A follower ad. We're not trying to get people to book a call at this stage. We're not even trying to get them to download something. We're just pushing out a follower ad. So we know exactly who we're selling to, so we use specific criteria on LinkedIn to find those people and target them with this new type of ad, which is a thought leadership ad. Alternatively, if you're on Instagram, you can just boost one of your posts. And what we want here is a video or an image that calls out our target market. It qualifies them, or it disqualifies them if they don't fit into that. It then delivers valuable information to them. So we're not just trying to get them to do something straight away. And then it gives them a CTA to follow us. Or if you fancy it, you can put a download in there as well. But at the very least, we're trying to get this target market to follow us. Now, on top of this, on LinkedIn, we want to send out 20 targeted connection requests every single day. You'll see it here, okay? But only 20. Now, most people don't do this. And this is basics, yeah? You need to top up your audience organically. And the best way you can do that is by sending these connection requests. As soon as someone accepts your connection request, they are automatically following you. They enter into your world, yeah? Which is exactly what we want. Now, the last thing here is collabs, all right? Or partnerships. These are people in your space, could be influencers, micro-influencers, clients, big industry figures, whatever. These people already have the attention of the audience that you want to attract. So we want to speak to these people. We want to reach out and arrange projects, podcasts, public speaking gigs, going live with them. That's exactly what I did with my client Kat here. Because if we're seen to be sharing the spotlight with these people, our reputation builds. We're an expert by association. And again, this is usually free to do. What podcast can you go and get featured on? Who do you know that will go live with you in your space? And all of this should be an always-on strategy to continually build your personal brand. Because once we're running all three of these things together, the follower ads, the connection requests, and the collabs, our audience will do just that. It will build, and it will build momentum quickly. We begin to capture more and more attention, which is the most valuable currency of all. Even if you're making tens, hundreds of thousands of pounds every month, you still want to keep building that attention. Okay, moving on to the second stage, trust building. We've already got the attention of our target market. They know who we are. They're aware that we exist. They might have done some research, might have checked out our profile, website, whatever, maybe not. But what we want to do in this stage is show them that we are credible. Show them that we're an expert and we know what we're talking about. And also show them that we're a likable person outside of business too. And we do this by pulling them into our ecosystem, using various pieces of content to build that trust, because it takes between 7 and 10 touch points, or 7 and 10 hours of exposure to you before people buy, all right? As a very, very general rule. Let's call it 7 to 10 hours of consuming your content, seeing your face, emails, whatever. And that's why this stage is by far the biggest. There's so much to it. So we really want to build an ecosystem here, something that once people enter, we can almost brainwash them into our way of thinking. And a lot of the materials that you can publish here, particularly these things, can be evergreen, okay? Meaning you only need to create them once. And this is the heart of the hybrid content system. Again, it looks complex, but I'm going to break it down one bit at a time. And remember, running all of these things might seem like a lot. It is a lot, but start out where you can. The big players are doing all of this shit, but then only telling you 20% of it to make their solutions seem simple and easy. But I'm going to give it all to you so you can take the valuable bits, the bits that you can apply, and actually apply them. So firstly, we have got organic content, a real mix of business content and personal content as well. Now, most people forget personal content and they focus purely on the business side of things, but I'm telling you now that is not enough. That will only appeal to the logical part of the brain. But what we want to do, part of building that trust, is to have our audience buy into us emotionally too, which means putting out personal content. And ideally here, we want to be posting between 5 and 7 times a week. If you're on Instagram, probably 3 to 5 stories a day too. So that could be a mixture of social proof, client results, value-based content, journey-based content where you talk about your story and your successes and your failures, and then personal content as well. And some of the business content that I mentioned can be really direct, okay? It can be hard conversion content, have hard call to actions just to incentivize calls and downloads. But for most of it, you want to give away the farm, just like I am in this video. I'm giving away everything. And in some pieces, you're going to direct people to go and download a lead magnet, which we'll cover in a sec. But organic content is by far the easiest to start with. Short form posts on either Instagram or LinkedIn. You can literally go through your camera roll, find a few pictures, and write a mixture of the content types that I've just referred to. Number 2 is lead magnets or a video sales letter. So once you're up to speed with the organic content and you've got that created perhaps a week or 2 in advance, I really suggest building out a lead magnet or a video sales letter. To give you an idea, we've got about 10, there or thereabouts, and that is f***ing excessive, don't get me wrong. But essentially, You want to create something that's of really high value for potential clients that gives them a glimpse of what it's like to work with you, all right? And giving this stuff away for free should feel fucking scary. Don't just push out some shitty like one-page PDF. Put time and effort into your lead magnets. Video trainings, tools, a 7-day email course. Make it something that people will probably pay for. Now, the beauty of lead magnets is that people can download them while you're asleep. It's not like DMs or constant always-on organic content. They're an OTA. They're a one-time asset, as I like to call them. And they're scalable, infinitely scalable, which is why I recommend putting so much time and effort into them. Not only that, they open up the gateway to your email list, which we'll come on to in a second, and these retargeting ads too. So next, the email list. Once people download our lead magnet, we capture their details, yeah? We capture their email address. And this allows us to then take them through a nurture sequence at some point around here on the journey. A series of a few emails, maybe like 5 to 7 that go out over a 10-day period. Delivering the lead magnet, showing them how to use it, showcasing some client results, some processes, and then ultimately asking them to take a bigger step, asking them to book that call with us, which again, we'll come to in a second. And this is another example, this nurture sequence here, of an OTA, something that we build once that works for us while we sleep. And as soon as that person has been through the 5 to 7 emails, we then automatically enroll them onto our email list. And for us, this means that they receive 2 emails every single week. You can start with once a fortnight, once a month if you want, but we hit them with 2. There's Monday Momentum, which is pretty much just a value email. Funnily enough, it goes out on a Monday. And it's pure value, yeah? It's giving away loads of information. Could be books, tips, podcasts, quotes, anything. Now, the second email is simply to promote that week's YouTube video. And that goes out on a Thursday. It goes out at the exact same time as this YouTube video and just drives more traffic to it. We want people spending more time with our content. But here, at this stage, is where we can really sprinkle in some extra magic, okay? Let's talk about retargeting ads. And most people are scared of ads because they think they cost loads of money and they're really complicated to set up. And I definitely don't think you should spend on them until you've reached lots and lots of sales organically and your offer's actually verified. But once it is, the best way to start when running ads, in my opinion, is retargeting rather than cold ads. Because retargeting ads themselves are much cheaper than running ads to a cold audience who don't know who you are already. So to download this lead magnet, people have to visit our website, which when set up correctly means we can retarget them, we can hit them with ads across YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. We install a tag or a bit of code onto our website which automatically captures people's details. It captures data about the visitors. Then once we have this data, we can serve ads to them on any platform we choose. And what's even better, especially with YouTube and LinkedIn ads, is we can use certain criteria to filter out people who've been on the website who aren't relevant and filter in people who've been on the site but are relevant. They are target market. So you can advertise to people based on location, age, gender, turnover, industry, the list goes on. So they've been on our site, they've either downloaded or not downloaded, and then we can hit them with even more convincing videos and convincing imagery that just encourage them to take the next step in the journey. So you can see how powerful this whole ecosystem is, right? Some of our organic content is pushing people towards our lead magnet. If they go and download it, we're emailing them. We're hitting them on a completely different channel. And also, whether they download it or not, and they fit our exact target market, we can hit them with ads on any social channel too. Serious stuff. But it doesn't stop there. Like I said, this part is massive. So we can also add in YouTube or some form of long form content, all right? Podcasts, as an example. And we do that to get people to spend even longer with us, even longer consuming our content. The longer they spend, the more chance we have of converting them to our way of thinking. And we can be really clever with long form content. Yeah, we can take a LinkedIn Live, we can chop it up into 20 pieces of short form, we can publish it as a YouTube video, and also publish it as a podcast on Spotify too. However, YouTube is a fucking slog, all right? It's the hardest part of the content creation process. So in order to make sure we're doing it right, we want to tick as many boxes as possible. So before we go any further, I just want to quickly cover these 2 triangle diagram diamonds. That's it. That's the word I was looking for, okay? Engagement and outbound DMs. So alongside running all these extra bits inside the ecosystem, we can actually go and engage with a select group of people on a certain platform every single day, leaving comments on their content essentially to attract their attention and build that familiarity and trust. And this could be big players in the space who have our ideal audience as followers already. It could be mutual accounts as well of a similar size. And of course, it could be ideal clients too. So we utilize all these 3 groups to bring more focused attention to our profile. Now, alongside that, we can also send these outbound DMs. And there are 3 types of DMs that we send every single day. new messages to people that have followed us, connected with us, or engaged on the content, replies as well to people that we're already having conversations with to move them along the journey, and then follow-ups too. And this is to people we've already had calls with who might be ready to work with us but hadn't bought in the past for whatever reason. So we track all this information in our data tracker or our data sheet, and that then tells us how successful each of these things is. So just as a recap, this is the biggest part of the journey, okay? Publishing the organic content, some of which drives people to a lead magnet download. We then capture the details and enroll them in our email list. We can then hit them with low-cost targeted ads, and it's supplemented with YouTube, the engagement, and also the DMs too. And all these things work together to build that trust, yeah? Because people have seen us so much, they're much more responsive when the offer of a sales call is put in front of them. A quick word from our sponsors, me. I've just put together a 13-minute free training showing you the 5 secrets to hit 5-figure months using LinkedIn. But I'm not giving it away for free for long because I'll sober up soon. So if you want to find out how you can start hitting 5-figure months using only organic content on LinkedIn, then hit the link under this video and you can download it for free. Anyway, back to the vid. So let's move on, the convert stage. All this activity that we're putting out there is going to generate trust. And when we have trust, when people believe that we can actually help them, when we've stacked enough proof that we have a viable solution, that's when we will generate leads. When working with us makes sense, not only logically, but also emotionally as well. And that will either mean that people will message us directly, i.e. an inbound DM, or they'll just book straight into our optimized calendar. So alongside outbound DMs, sending messages to followers and engagers that we just ran through, we're also going to get some inbound DMs as well. And the beauty of this is you can have an appointment setter or a VA deal with any kind of DM, all right? They can book clients directly into your calendar and you only pay them when you win that person as a client. So in order for this stage to work well, your VA or your setter will have to be told what to do, okay? And they'll need to be able to direct people to this calendar link that I mentioned. And if you use Calendly, you'll be able to automate a lot of this as well, which is going to increase your show up rate when we come to the sales call. We'll get onto that in a sec. So firstly, we want to ask qualifying questions before we let anyone into the diary. So on your Calendly form, find out more information to make sure that this person does actually look like a good fit. What's their current situation? Where are they now? What's the goal? Have they tried anything previously to get there before? How quickly do they want to get there? And are they open to investing to make it even quicker, to get there faster? And having the answers to these questions gives you a lot of info before the call. You can also disqualify people if they're not a good fit. Plus, it puts in quite a bit of friction, all right? Puts something in the way of them just booking a call, so you don't get people that aren't serious. Taking the time to write out the answers to your questions means they're that bit more invested, all right? So once they have booked in, what we want to do is take them through a success sequence. And this is brilliant. I credit a lot of our show up success to our success sequence itself. So we have programmed emails and SMS messages, which keeps this show up rate extremely high. So to give you an idea, we send a confirmation email with the Zoom link straight away. Then 2 days before, we send a text with a client interview, what I'm doing on the screen there. Then 24 hours before, we email a simple video reminder, or a video explainer, I should say, that just tells them a bit more about what's going to happen on the call. And then 2 hours before the call, a simple reminder text as well. And again, once we've programmed these, they deliver every single time. A little bit of annoying upfront work for scalable returns. And this means the prospect will come to the call, hopefully, hyped up and ready to buy, or at least 80% of the way there. So on to the sales call itself. And there are 7 parts to an effective sales call, but I'm going to categorize them as 2, okay? The discovery and the pitch. I've recorded a whole separate training on this, so you can go and check that out when you're ready. But at the end of the sales call, we either onboard the client, disregard them for whatever reason, or agree next steps to follow up. There's only 1 or 3 outcomes. And anything sitting above 50% is a good closing rate. So for this video, we're going to assume we've closed the person as a client and we're going to move on to the next stage, which is delivery. And delivery is the final stage. Even though none of this really stops, delivery is the last stage, all right? Now, sales and marketing is all well and good, but if you've got a shit product that isn't structured, you're going to struggle, okay? And this is the thing that most business owners miss. If you provide like 1 to 3 services, a lot of your fulfillment is going to be the same. I'd estimate at least like 50% of the whole process is identical, even if you offer bespoke services as well. So what we've done is systemize the hell out of our delivery process. And what that means is a few positive things, okay? Firstly, there's no guesswork whenever a client signs, yeah? We just run this process. Secondly, because we have assets or tools for every step of the journey, we save a lot of time. We're not repeating ourselves again and again and doing tons of manual work, all right? So let's walk through this journey. For the onboarding, we grant our clients access to an online portal and send a link to an onboarding form and an onboarding video straight away. And the video explains exactly what they need to do next and how the whole process works. The client then fills out the form and it kicks off a series of automations that turn it into a really hands-off onboarding that still feels personalized. The key though is that we've given them a quick win, okay? They're inside our portal straight away. And that's what most onboardings fail to do. If someone's just paid you their money or some of their budget, give them something immediately. Could be a dashboard, could be a date of the first call, could just be a video, anything. First impressions can only be made once. So what we've got there is a smooth, repeatable onboarding process. And moving on to these 3 phases, okay? They could be deliverables for you depending on your business, but I just like to think of them as phases that clients go through. Because your fulfillment process might require like 225 steps in total in order for the client to reach their goal. 225 different things that you or the client need to do. But in order to make the whole process easy to understand, it's best to group every single one of those steps into a phase. Phase 1, 2, or 3, yeah? Maybe you might have 5, but for our Content to Clients program, it's 3 phases. It's offer, marketing, and sales. And categorizing them like this just means that we have a framework. And just like systemizing, frameworks save a lot of time and they save a lot of energy as well. So we take our clients through this delivery process step by step, as fast as we can until they start to see results. And when they do get results, we invite them onto client interviews on Zoom, all right? Client interviews that we conduct on Zoom. We ask them about the process, what they've achieved, what they've enjoyed, how things have changed, where they were before starting working with us, that kind of thing. We then create short form and long form content from that interview. And this content goes right back to the trust building part of the journey, right back into the organic content that we're publishing. And at the moment, I publish a client interview every single Monday across YouTube, Insta, and LinkedIn. And the reason that we do this is simple. It shows how good we are and how good the program is, but it's not just me saying it, it's other people, which in turn builds trust for people who are at that stage of the journey or the funnel. Now, alongside this, people who share their results with us are usually happy to recommend us to their network too. So we incentivize them, okay? We offer a financial kickback for referrals because just like sharing the results, other people's opinions and recommendations hold a lot of power. If one of your friends recommends a restaurant to you, you're much more likely to go than if the restaurant owner, him or herself, recommended it to you, aren't you? Your clients are your best source of new income and also the easiest as well. And at the time of recording this, we've had 2 intros today. And once we've had that solid introduction, we book them right back into the calendar and run the convert part of the journey again. So a very quick recap. We've got a targeted offer. We know who we're selling it to and the message is on point. We then use the attention stage of the funnel to grab people's attention and capture it and turn them into targeted followers. Whether that's partnerships and collabs, whether it's utilizing some top of funnel ads, or whether it's just doing the basics and firing out 20 targeted connection requests every single day. Once they know who we are, we run the whole ecosystem, the trust building ecosystem, which is essentially the foundation of the hybrid content system, to build that trust and make it as strong as we can. Whether that's long form YouTube, whether it's a series of lead magnets or VSLs, we should always be publishing the organic content. We can look at retargeting ads, which are really cost effective and only go in front of the right people. And we can also start to use a nurture sequence from the lead magnet to enroll people into our email list, which again, just allows us to push even further down the funnel. Once we have that trust, it's much easier then to take them to the conversion stage, stage number 3, and either DM us or just go straight to our calendar and book in. We then take them through a qualification-led booking process where we ask questions and qualify or disqualify. We have a success sequence that warms them up before the call, and then we take them to the sales call itself. Some of these people will not become clients. Some of them we'll need to follow up with, and others will become a client. Now, when they do, we onboard them using a systemized and repeatable process, take them through our framework until they get the results. Once they have the results, we ask them to hop on an interview. This again goes right back into the organic or paid part of the hybrid content system. And then we can also ask for referrals too. Once we have a referral, we take them right back to the sales call and run the whole process again. Now, it's a pretty lengthy video, but if you want to find out more about how we can help you, then click the link under the video and schedule a call to speak with us. We'll find out more about your business goals and ultimately see if this can help.